Good afternoon to all my interested investors out there. This is Don Crone, and you are watching my channel, which is called Live Long and Profit. It's a beautiful day here in New Jersey, about 60 degrees. Spring is coming, which means summer will follow. That's why I decided to upgrade my virtual background to a beach scene, because I'll be spending a lot of time there in the next 5 or 6 months or so. Today, I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is one of the hottest topics in the financial markets today, and certainly one of the most controversial. One of the main controversies seems to be over its legitimacy as a store of value. The advocates call it digital gold, and the naysayers say it can't be trusted because of its volatility and lack of government backing. After all, dollars are backed by the federal government like all other major currencies. Bitcoin cannot make this claim. It exists in the digital world only. Now, one of the major reasons for the rise in the price of Bitcoin over the past year or so has been the weakening of the US dollar caused by repeated rounds of fiscal stimulus needed to keep the economy afloat during the pandemic. As more and more dollars are introduced into the money supply, the purchasing power of each dollar is reduced. Of course, the reduced purchasing power of the dollar as a result of inflation is not a new story. Inflation, even at low rates, has been eating away at the purchasing power of the dollar for decades. But the rounds of stimulus made necessary by the pandemic have focused people's attention on alternative investments, and Bitcoin makes a lot of sense when viewed in this manner. So first, let's ask the question, what is a Bitcoin? As I said, Bitcoin is a digital currency that exists only in the virtual world. Its existence is supported by the blockchain, which is a series of complex algorithms that maintains transaction records on a network of computers that are constantly connected to the internet. Another aspect of Bitcoin's controversy is the subject of its supply. As of this moment, there are 18.5 million Bitcoins available. The supply has been capped at 21 million, and I read on Investopedia that the extra 2.5 million will not be fully introduced until about the year 2140, which is far away, to say the least. Now, there are those who dispute that claim and say that one day the market will be flooded with Bitcoins, and that will obviously drive its value down. Well, I disagree with that argument for a couple of reasons. First, the introduction of a higher number of Bitcoins could be considered in the same way that you would think about a stock split. Now, the highest profile stock split of the past year was in Tesla. And how has Tesla done since that split? Well, as of a few weeks ago, when the market was making new highs, the price of Tesla was up 200% since August 31st, when the 5-for-1 split went into effect. With that kind of visibility, and Bitcoin has similar type of visibility, it would be reasonable to expect the same kind of reaction if there was suddenly millions more Bitcoin available. Second, another major reason for the rise in Bitcoin's price has been its acceptance as an investment vehicle by institutional money managers. And the most mind-blowing statement on this subject was made by one of these managers by the name of Scott Minerd, who is the chief investment officer for Guggenheim Investments. Now, just before Christmas, he was being interviewed on Bloomberg TV. And keep in mind that Guggenheim Investments manages $230 billion in assets, so it's not chump change. He was being interviewed on TV, and he made a prediction that Bitcoin could rise as high as 400,000. And he said that that prediction was based on Bitcoin's valuation in relation to the price of gold and its potential as a payment vehicle for everything from Amazon to cars to vacations, etc. It's also notable that Elon Musk, the man behind Tesla and SpaceX, recently invested $1.5 billion of Tesla's cash in Bitcoin. That announcement was made on February 8th, when Bitcoin was around 46,000. And an educated guess would lead me to believe that he made those purchases earlier and was reporting them as required. Now, about 2 weeks later, Bitcoin peaked at 58,000, and the rally could well be attributed to the impact of his announcement. And as of today, Bitcoin sits around 54,000. So, I mean, even though it's gone down a little bit, he's still well in the black on that purchase. One reason Bitcoin has not achieved a certain level of acceptance in purchase transactions is because of its volatility. The Bitcoin does fluctuate an awful lot in price, so it makes it difficult to pay for things using the cryptocurrency because a merchant can't be completely sure of how much money he's getting, and a customer can't be sure of how much money they're paying. So that creates a big problem. Now, I think that the volatility of Bitcoin will begin to die down somewhat as it gains wider acceptance. Having followed and studied the habits and practices of Wall Street money managers for years, I know these guys aren't stupid. they wouldn't even consider investing in Bitcoin unless they saw some real potential. And I believe Scott Minerd's statement shows that they have done some valid research and made a decision based on the results of their research, not just that gut instinct, which is what a lot of retail investors do. Now, a lot of people also raise a moral objection to the ownership of Bitcoin, saying that it is used for illegal transactions. And there's no question that that's a possibility, and there's evidence to support that assertion. But to that assertion, I say, so what? Another guest on Bloomberg TV recently pointed out the fact that the US dollar has been the predominant currency used in money laundering and illegal transactions for decades. And nobody is walking away from the use of the US dollar. So to me, that whole objection seems a little bit hypocritical. Another reason for the visibility of Bitcoin is the attention it receives from the financial media. Now, some of this coverage to me is truly laughable. I watch Bloomberg TV, as I said, on a daily basis, and the regular anchors in their daily time slots make no effort to hide their disdain for Bitcoin. They express skepticism when it rises, and that turns to sneering glee when it declines. Keep in mind that Scott Minerd's statement about the price potential of Bitcoin was made on Bloomberg television, and within 10 minutes, the people who had just interviewed him were dismissing his assertion as ridiculous, even after he explained the logical basis for his conclusion. So, will Bitcoin make it to 400,000? Okay. Yes, that does seem like a rather lofty pipe dream at this point in time. But to dismiss Bitcoin at this point as a mere speculative investment for people who are begging to lose their money also seems to be pretty ridiculous. Purchases of Bitcoin continue to rise among institutional and corporate buyers. A software firm in Hong Kong just announced on Sunday that they are making a major purchase of both Bitcoin and Ethereum, another cryptocurrency, and I see that trend continuing and accelerating. So, would I put all of my money in Bitcoin? No, of course not. It doesn't pass the sleep test, which means, can you sleep at night knowing that all of your money is invested in Bitcoin? The answer is no, you can't. And I would never do that, but I do have some money in Bitcoin. And I think that it's worthy of consideration for an investment portfolio for a small percentage, whatever you think you can risk. But the potential for real profits is there. Since 2009, it's consistently, it's been extremely volatile throughout its lifetime, but it has produced great returns for investors. And over the past year or so, the wider acceptance has made it more of a possibility of a mainstream investment. So I think Bitcoin is real, is here to stay, and will be worthy of consideration as an investment going forward. So if you like what you see here, please subscribe to my channel, ring the bell to be notified of further posts, and leave a comment if you wish. Whether you agree or disagree, I will do my best to answer you. Thank you, and have a great day.